Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam overview class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नित्यनामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. We are discussing from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and last time we discussed the 42 and 43 chapters. So in this chapter, last chapter, we saw how Krishna, he delivered Kubja out of his, such intense mercy. He made Kubja very, very beautiful. Just by the touch of Krishna, Kubja, who was a hunchbacked lady, she became such a beautiful lady with all the beautiful bodily features. So this story of Kubja is very, very important because it tells how that just by being in touch with Krishna, one can develop all the wonderful qualities, you know. And this is the prime example of that. Anybody who comes in touch with Krishna consciousness develops all the wonderful qualities. As Bhagavatam also describes, Yasyasti bhakti bhagavati akinchana sarvair gunais tatra samasate surah. Anybody who is practicing devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, all the good qualities of the devatas, they manifest in that person's nature. That is a wonderful process of Krishna consciousness. Anybody who comes in touch with Krishna Katha, Krishna Kirtan, the devotees of Krishna, they automatically become such a refined personality. As Prabhupada would always say, my devotees are perfect ladies and gentlemen. And this example, this pastime of the straightening of Kubja represents this. Just by the touch of Krishna, she became so very beautiful, full of all the wonderful bodily features. Similarly, when somebody comes in touch with Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada, he writes in Nectar of Instruction at one place that people in the Western world or even in India, they may be so very educated. They may have lots of degrees from the mundane point of view, but they may be having so many sinful, habits. But anybody who comes in touch with Krishna consciousness, even if he is an illiterate person, he develops all the wonderful qualities, and that is actually education. The education of the modern university, it is described as ignorance by the scriptures. The scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam describes that all the mundane education, it is actually avidya. In 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna describes that There are 20 points of knowledge starting from amanitvam, adambhitvam, ahimsa, shantir, arjam, and the list goes on. All these qualities are not being taught in modern universities. Only thing which is taught in modern universities and colleges is how to earn money, how to become a, externally well refined personality. Nobody sees the internals. But when somebody comes in touch with Krishna consciousness, he develops all the good qualities automatically. So that is the story of delivering of Kubja. And then we saw how Krishna, he killed Kuvalayapida, and then carrying the tusk of Kuvalayapida on his shoulder, decorated with the, sprinkling of the blood of Kuvalayapida. Krishna and Balram, they both entered the arena, the wrestling arena. And we saw how all the ladies and all the Mathura Vasis, they saw Krishna in their different emotion, whatever emotions they had. And the famous verse which describes how Krishna is Akhila Rasa Amrita Murti. Various people who had assembled in the battle, in the arena, they saw Krishna in different mood. And then the Mathura Vasis, they started talking among themselves. They were criticizing the, Kamsa, and they were criticizing all the Kshatriyas who had arranged this wrestling match. They were condemning themselves, why we came here. We are also getting inflicted with the sin. And then Chanur, he had a talk with Krishna, and he told that, oh, you are very, very powerful, so let us fight to give pleasure to King Kamsa. And Krishna, he also wanted to take revenge because Chanur had killed so many of the wrestlers in the past. So that was, we discussed last time. So in today's topic, the 44th chapter entitled The Killing of Kamsa. So Shukdev Goswami, he continues the discussion. He says that now, after being challenged by Krishna, challenged by Chanur, so Chanur told that you show your prowess against me, he told to Krishna, and Balaram can fight with Mushtik. So Krishna made up his mind to fight with Chanur, and he paired off with Chanur. And Balaram started fighting with Mushtik. Both of them started fighting very fiercely. They were catching each other's hand. They were kicking each other with their legs. Sometimes, trying to overpower other, struggling powerfully. Both the opponents were struggling powerfully. Somebody may think, oh, what is the need for Krishna to struggle? He is the supreme embodiment of power. Actually, whenever Krishna does some role, he does it very perfectly. And Krishna was acting like an ordinary wrestler, so that's why he was behaving as if he is struggling to win. He also desired victory. And both of them, they started fighting, striking each other with fists, and then knees against knees, legs against legs, head against head, chest against chest. That's why they were fighting very, very fiercely. And just like, in Vrindavan, Krishna, he invented so many newer styles of playing flute, and he would attract the minds of all the gopis. Nobody had seen or heard such wonderful flute playing. Similarly, Krishna, when he is there in arena now fighting, he invented newer ways of fighting. And Chanur, he was not aware of these ways, so he was struggling, how to tackle Krishna, because he was, using newer and newer feats. So that's how Krishna is so very skilled. When Krishna was dancing on the hoods of Kalia, he was dancing in such beautiful and newer ways that all the devatas, Gandharvas are known for dancing and the musical art. Even they were not able to match up with the dancing style of Krishna. So therefore, whatever Krishna does, he does it in a unique way. He invents newer and newer styles of even fighting, you know. So the particular type of fighting which Krishna was invented was aratani. So it refers to that he was making a fist and fighting, kicking the other person, but he was not looking using the little finger, you know. So it was little uncomfortable for Chanur. He was getting distracted and confused by this way of fighting. So that's how Krishna is. And then, although Chanur had a great difficulty with this, but still he was trying to fight with Krishna. And both the fighters, you know, Balram was fighting with Mushtik and Chanur was fighting with Krishna. You know, sometimes they would throw each other down, dragging around in circles and then thrashing each other, running before and behind them. All these things were going on. It was a sight to see. All the Mathura Vasis, they were completely, disturbed seeing all that. Sometimes they would lift each other and throw it on the ground, push each other, you know. And whenever Krishna was getting, apparently he was getting beaten sometimes because he wanted to give some encouragement to Chanur. So sometimes he would allow Chanur to beat him, and that would give intense pain to all the Mathuravasis. In due course of fighting, they would even hurt their own bodies because with their bodies they were beating other person. That's how they were, so very eager for victory. Then the women of Mathura, when they saw this fighting, they could not stand there. They could not tolerate all these, injustice going on. They assembled in groups and they started talking about this unfair match which was arranged by Kamsa. So they started telling, alas, what a greatly irreligious act is being performed in this assembly now. The Kshatriya, the royal assembly, is committing a great sinful act. And the king is watching this competition and he is not even telling anything. And all the other Kshatriyas, they are also watching and, enjoying this fighting. This is very irreligious. And then the women, they point towards Krishna. They say, oh, just see this Krishna. Kva vajrasara sarvango mallau shailendra sannibhau kvachati sukumarango kishora napta yauvano. Oh, just see, Krishna is such a delicate person. He is just a kishore, such a small boy. All his limbs are so very tender. And just see, these wrestlers, they are vajrasara sarvango. All their body parts, they are like thunderbolt, as hard as thunderbolt. It is such a great injustice, Krishna is Sukumar Anga. All his limbs are very, very soft. It is said that when Krishna, he would even walk on the soft dust of Vrindavan, his soles would become red because of the touch of the dust of Vrindavan. That's how soft feet Krishna had. And therefore all the women, they were getting so very disturbed. They said, there is great irreligious act going on in this assembly. Dharma vyatikaro yasya samajasya dhruvam bhavet yatra dharma sanuttishten nasteyam tatra karhichit. Certainly dharma vyatikramo, dharma has been violated in this assembly. For certainly it is going on, an irreligious act is going on. It is not at all fair. And therefore one should not remain in this place. One should not remain in the place where irreligious activity is going on. Why? Because they say anybody who even stays at the place where irreligious activity is going on without speaking, he also gets implicated. Na sabham pravishet pragya sabhya doshan anusmaran Abruvan vibruvan nagyo nara kil bishamashnute. So another group of women, they started telling, Na sabhan pravishet pragya, one should not even enter the assembly where irreligious activity is going on. This is very, very important. In today's world, somebody may tell, okay, I'm not doing anything, I was just present there. Even if you are present there and you did not speak anything, that means you'll be implicated in that. So better not to go to a place where irreligious activity is going on. That is what is described, because if you are not speaking anything, that means you are agreeing to what is going on. If two people are fighting and you are taking a neutral position, that means you are siding with the person who is committing a wrong thing. So therefore, these ladies are telling, Abruvan vibruvan agyo. So they are saying, if having entered such an assembly, if somebody does not speak anything, if one fails to speak in such assembly, or he speaks falsely, or somebody says, oh, I didn't know, I was ignorant of the rules which were there, it is not an excuse. Ignorance is no excuse to the reaction. Narah kilvisham ashnute, anybody who enters an assembly where irreligious activity is going on, he also gets implicated in that. He becomes sinful. And then, they were actually remembering that how in the Mahabharata, Bhishma, Drona, although they were very, very religious personalities, but when Draupadi was getting disrobed, nobody spoke anything. They did not speak. And that's why they got implicated. So therefore, however powerful, however glorious one may be, if one tolerates injustice or adharmic activity without speaking anything, oh, it is not happening to me, I don't have to do anything with that, we will be implicated. So better avoid the situations where adharmic activities are going on. Somebody may say, but Krishna and Balram, they are not appearing tired. They are very strong. So therefore, there is no fault in this match. So some of the ladies thinking, expecting such type of response, they say, just see, the face of Krishna is full of drops of perspiration. He is struggling so very hard. He's fighting, his lotus-like face is covered with drops of perspiration. And can't you see that Balram, although Balram has such a tender body, but he's not able to tolerate the injustice which is being done on his younger brother. Therefore, Balram is also very, very angry. His eyes are red with anger. Can't you see that? So in this way, the ladies are talking amongst each other. And then, they start glorifying Vrindavan. So it is said that Chakravarti Thakur writes that, in the assembly, in this wrestling arena, there were few ladies who were either related to the wives of Brahmanas who Krishna delivered, he gave mercy, or there were few of the wives of the Brahmanas present in that assembly also. They had also come there. They started telling, Punyo batavraj bhuvo yadayam nirlinga gudha purana purusha vanavachitra malya gapalayan sah balay kwanayam shavenum vikridayanchati giritra ramarchitangri. They are telling, Vrindavan is such a glorious land. Punya brata brajabhuvo. Vrindavan is glorious. Why? Yad ayam nirlinga, supreme personality of Godhead, he has appeared in the human form. Who is Gudha? Nobody can understand that Supreme Lord. He is Purana Purusha, he is primeval personality. And that same personality is roaming in Vrindavan without having slippers, decorated with, Vanmala, Vaijayanti Mala. He's decorated with various minerals and the creepers and the birds of flowers. Vrindavan is such a glorious. Vrindavanam sakhi bhuvo vitanoti kirtim yaddevaki sutapadambujalabda lakshmi govinda venumanumatya mayura nityam prekshadrisanva varatanya samasta sattvam. Vrindavan has increased the glory of Mother Earth because Vrindavan is beautified by the footprints of Krishna. And when Krishna plays his flute, all the residents of Vrindavan, they go into ecstasy. They become stunned. So these ladies, they are telling, Punya Brata Brajabhuvo. Oh, Vrindavan is so very glorious. That Supreme Personality who is glorified as Purana Purusha, what is he doing in Vrindavan? He is wearing a flower garland and he is tending cows. He is playing his flute. That Supreme Lord, after whom even Lakshmi Devi is mad. Lakshmi Devi is being worshipped by so many devatas and she is mad after Krishna. That is the glorious position of Vrindavan. Aradhya Bhagavan Brajesh Tanaya Tadham Vrindavanam. So Vrindavan is the foremost of all the places in the entire creation. As Rupa Goswami describes in Nectar of Instruction, that of all the places, of all the holy places, Mathura is the supreme. Amongst Mathura, Vrindavan is the supreme. In Vrindavan, Govardhan is the supreme. In Govardhan, Radha Kund is the supreme. So that is the glory of Vrindavan. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that actually, what these ladies are telling, they are actually, pointing out the difference between Vrindavan and Mathura. They are telling Vrindavan is such a beautiful place where Krishna is so very relaxed. Krishna is enjoying with his cowherd boys, with girlfriends, with his cows in Vrindavan, and just see what he's experiencing in Mathura. He has to fight with all the wrestlers. He is subjected to such harassment here in Mathura. But in Vrindavan, he was having such nice time. He was enjoying in Vrindavan. In that way, they are condemning the city of Mathura. Oh, what is being done here? Supreme Lord is, harassed in Mathura. He was so very happy in Vrindavan. And then they start glorifying the gopis. Very, very famous verse. Now the ladies are speaking. Gopyah tapah kimacharam yadamushya rupam lavanya sarama samordhamanya siddham Drigbhi pibantyanusava bhinavam durapam ekanta dhama yashasha shriya aishwarasya. They are telling, Gopyah tapah kim acharan. What austerities these gopis must have performed. They were getting a chance to see the beautiful form of Krishna every day. Actually, they are telling, if anybody is omniscient here, anybody knows what austerities these gopis have performed, please tell us also. We will also perform such austerities and we will also take birth in Braja. We don't want to stay in Mathura because here Krishna has to undergo so very, lots of harassment. These gopis, they are so very fortunate. They are drinking the beauty of Krishna with their eyes every day. And here what they have to drink? Here Krishna, and here we have to drink the poison of his injury. Gopis were drinking the nectar of Krishna's beauty. And here we have to see Krishna getting beaten up by the wrestlers. He is getting injured. Oh, this is such an unfortunate position. We are so very unfortunate. We are just sitting here, and we have to see all this ghastly scene. We are so very disgusted. We are filled with fever from the tip of our toes to the tip of our hair. That's how the ladies are condemning themselves. What is this form of Krishna? Lavanya saramasamordhvam ananya siddham. Krishna's beauty is the essence of all loveliness. Lavanya saram. It is the essence of all loveliness. Nobody can say that there is anything better than this beauty. Muktahara bakapati indradhanu pinchatati पीतांबर बिजुरी संचार कृष्ण नव जलधर जगत सस्य ऊपर बरिशय लीलामृत धार. Kaviraj Goswami describes the beauty of Krishna. Muktahar bakapati. So Krishna wears a beautiful pearl necklace. It is like a row of ducks. Indradhanu pinchatati, and the peacock feather in his head. It is like a rainbow. Pitambara bijuri sanchar, and Krishna is like a cloud. The peacock feather is like the rainbow, and the yellow garment which he is wearing, it is like a lightning. Krishna nava jaladhara jagata shashya upara, and Krishna is like that cloud, and he is showering the nectar of his beauty on all the residents of Vrindavan. That is Lavanya Saram. Somebody may say, okay, all of you are staying on this earth and you have not seen the higher planets. What to speak of Swarga? Even if you say Krishna's beauty is better than all the residents of heaven, but if we go to Mahavaikuntha, the beauty of Krishna, beauty of Narayan is even more. They say, no, it is not possible. Asamordhvam, Krishna's beauty is asamordhvam, unparalleled. There is nothing greater than the beauty of Krishna. That's why it is said that there are 4 qualities of Krishna which even Vishnu does not have. One of them is the Rupa Madhuri. Rupa Madhuri, Leela Madhuri, Venu Madhuri, and Prema Madhuri. So Rupa of Krishna is even more sweeter and attractive than Lord Vishnu. And the gopis, they are attracted to this form of Krishna. Tarunyamrit paravar taranga lavanyasar tate se avart bhavudgam vamshidhvani chakravat narir manatrinapat taha dubai na hoy udgam. The beauty of Krishna, it is like Tarunya Amrit Paravar. It is like the nectar. And the loveliness which Krishna has, it is like Krishna's beauty is like an ocean, and in that ocean of beauty, there is a wave of the loveliness. And then there is a whirlpool which is going on in this ocean, that is the various bhav. Various bhavs which Krishna is, exhibiting, it is agitating the gopis. It is bringing all the gopis, Brajanari, Asi, Phande Pade Hoye Dasi. They become entangled in this whirlpool. Vamshi Dhwani Chakravat, and then on top of that, this Vamshi Dhwani, the sound of Krishna's flute, it adds to that whirlpool. Narir, Manatrinapat, and all the gopis, their heart is like a small straw. And then when the straw is pulled in this whirlpool, cannot come out. So therefore, the beauty of Krishna is asamordhvam lavanya saramasamordhvam ananya siddham. Somebody may ask, from where did Krishna receive this beauty? From nowhere. Ananya siddham. This form is intrinsic to Krishna. He has not received from anywhere else. Somebody may say, if all these gopis, they are drinking the beauty of Krishna, drigbhi pibanti, they are drinking this beauty of Krishna every day. So if these gopis, they drink constantly the beauty of Krishna, it will no longer be newer, right? Because if you see something, it may look attractive for some time. Then later it may become the same old thing. They say, no. Krishna's beauty is not like that. It is Drigbhi pibanti anusava bhinavam. It is newer and newer at every moment. That is the beauty of Krishna, that is the beauty of Krishna Katha, that is the beauty of Krishna Nam. Anything related to Krishna is ever new. Navam Navam, Nitya Nava Navaiman, all the pastimes of Krishna, the form of Krishna, the holy names of Krishna, they are ever fresh, ever new. That's why Prabhupada would tell, if somebody would ask Prabhupada, Swamiji, why we should chant only Hare Krishna? Why can we chant any other name? Prabhupada would tell them, okay, you try chanting any other name. Try chanting John, Mr. John, Mr. John. How many times you can chant? You'll get tired. But this holy name is so very fresh, amazing, sweet, that you can go on chanting whole day, your whole life. And one will not be satiated. It is anusava bhinavam durapam. This form of Krishna is very, very difficult to be seen. Durapam. Even Lakshmi Devi wanted to have the entrance in Rasa Leela. She is not getting the entrance in Rasa Leela. It is a very, very rare form. Durapam. Ekanta dham yashasha shriyaishwarasya. Krishna's body is the only abode. This loveliness, lavanya saram, is the only abode of Yasha, Shri and Aishwarya. It is the only abode of fame, beauty and opulence. So that is the ultimate description of the beauty of Krishna, which all these ladies are telling. And then they are remembering how gopis, after anybody has seen and experienced such beauty of Krishna, how can one forget that beauty? So the gopis, they were so very absorbed in whatever they were doing. Yadohane vahanane mathanopalepa Prenkheng kanar bharuditokshanam Gayanti chainamanurakta dhivashrukanthyo Dhanya brajastriyaurukramachittayana. The gopis of Vrindavan, they are most fortunate. Dhanya brajastriya. The ladies of Braja, they are most fortunate of all the women. Why? Urukramachittayana. Because their minds, their souls, their consciousness were completely absorbed in Krishna always. Whatever they were doing, yadohane vahanane, either they are milking the cows, either they are winnowing the grains, threshing the grains, churning butter, smearing cow dung on the walls, either they are swinging themselves, or either they are putting their children in the swing, praying king, and either they are taking care of their crying children, either they are cleaning their home. Marjanadav Gayanti chainamanurakta dhiyo ashrukanthyo. Anything they were doing, they were constantly singing the glories of Krishna. Anurakta dhiyo ashrukanthyo, and they were so very absorbed, they were always in ecstasy. Their throats would be choked with tears. Dhanya brajastriya. That is the ultimate perfection of existence. That's how gopis, they represent the emblem of devotion, emblem of devotional service. They're the supreme epitome of devotional service which gopis are displaying. Bilvangal Thakur describes Vikretu kama kilagopa kanya murari padar pita chitta vritti dadhyadikam moha vashadavochat Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. When the gopis, they would go and sell curd and butter. Generally when somebody is selling curd and butter, they should, call out, please take curd, please take butter, please take milk. But these gopis, they were so very absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. As they are selling butter, instead of crying or calling out, please take butter, they would tell, please take Govinda, Damodar and Madhava. So that's how gopis are so very supreme emblem of devotion, and we are proclaiming ourselves to be the follower of gopis. Gopi bhartur padakamalayur dasa dasa anudasa. That is what our aspiration is. So at least, we have to be conscious of what we are aspiring for. If we are conscious of what we are aspiring for, then we will move towards that path. We'll be on that direction, moving. Otherwise, it is not so easy to be conscious of Krishna always. So we have to remind ourselves of this fact that I have come here. I am taking so much of the efforts, not just to have some spiritual entertainment, but to be conscious of Krishna. Generally in this world, the name of a person is attractive. From our mundane point of view, when we hear a name, okay, it may look a little bit attractive. More than the name, the form of the person is attractive. Even more than the form of a person, the activities of a person are attractive. Even more than the activities of a person, the qualities of a person are attractive. And even more than the qualities of a person, the consciousness of a person attracts us. Although in the absolute sense, Krishna's name, form, qualities, activities, they are all transcendental, absolute. But in our conditioned state, we may not be attracted to the holy names. Even form of Krishna, we are not so much having a personal experience. But we are aware of the various pastimes of Krishna. We are aware of the qualities of Krishna. We are aware of the consciousness of Krishna. And Bhagavatam describes these things in great detail about the various qualities, the pastimes, consciousness. So therefore, it should be our daily habit to bathe our mind and consciousness with the pastimes of Krishna described in Bhagavatam. Pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then we will become Krishna conscious. That's how we will be followers of gopis at least. Because gopis, they are, whatever they are doing, they are conscious of Krishna. When the gopis, they would hear the flute of Krishna, in the morning and the evening. In the morning, Krishna is going to the forest. While playing his flute, all the gopis, they come out of their house to have darshan of Krishna. In the evening, when Krishna is returning, Krishna is playing his flute. All the gopis, they again run to come out and see the beautiful face of Krishna. How fortunate the gopis are. In this way, the ladies of Mathura, they are glorifying the fortune of the gopis. They are telling they must have performed so many pious activities. Otherwise, how is it possible that they were getting a chance to have the darshan of the Lord, the beautiful smiling face, which is the essence of loveliness? Krishna's body is the mine of beauty. Sarva guna khani. It is the mine of beauty. It's a mine of good quality. So as all these gopis, all these Mathura ladies, they are talking amongst each other. Krishna prepared his mind to kill the opponent, because Krishna, he is the best of all the yogis. Krishna cannot tolerate the suffering of his devotees. And all these ladies, they were the devotees of Krishna. And although they were talking amongst each other, Krishna could hear what they were talking. He could hear the frustration and the distress of all these ladies. So therefore he decided, okay, these ladies, they are suffering so much. I should, stop the suffering. I should give them some relief. So Vasudev and Devaki, they were also sitting in the assembly. They were also becoming so very aggrieved because they were hearing the talks of these ladies and they were also getting so very disturbed. Vasudev and Nand Maharaj, they began to lament. Nand Maharaj was thinking, while I was departing from Braja, why I did not instruct Akrura that these boys should not go to the wrestling arena. Why are my sons in this most irreligious city? That's how Nand Maharaj is thinking, lamenting. So Balram and Mushtik, they are fighting and they were, expertly battling against each other, and Krishna was battling with Chanur. Then Krishna, he strikes a blow on the body of Chanur, and repeatedly Krishna started, kicking and punching Chanur. With every blow of Krishna, the body parts of Chanur started breaking down. Chanur started becoming more and more pained, fatigued, and weak. As a result of frustration, Chanur realized that now he's losing the battle. So as a last attempt, he gathered his all strength and with his both the fists, he punched on the chest of Krishna, struck the chest. But just like an elephant who is being struck by a flower garland, Krishna was not even little bit pained. He was standing without any expression. He was just peaceful and calm. He was no more shaken. No more than the elephant being struck by a flower garland. And then Krishna, he thought now it is enough. He caught hold of the arms of Chanur, he swung him around and he threw him on the ground. And then he, climbed on the body and started beating him. And Chanur was dead. It was like a big festival column collapsing. He collapsed. And Mushtik, in a similar way, he was struck by Balram and he also died. When Chanur and Mushtik were killed, then Shala, Toshala, Kuta, and all these various wrestlers, they started coming, they started attacking. Balram killed Kuta and Krishna, he killed Shala and Toshala. Krishna, he struck Shala and Toshala on their head and the skull broke apart and they were dead. And when their leaders, the leaders of all the wrestlers, Shal, Toshal, Chanur, Mushtik, Kuta, they were killed, then all the remaining wrestlers, they understood that we cannot fight. They fled away. Then Krishna and Balram, after being victorious, they called all their, cowherd friends. Just like in the modern wrestling match, if you have seen those WWF movies or the, episodes, when the wrestler wins the match, all his friends and the relatives, they, enter the boxing ring and they congratulate the wrestling ring. They congratulate and they all started, enjoying. So this is all coming from Krishna only. So Krishna, he called all his friends, and Krishna and Balram and all his cowherd friends, they started dancing and enjoying, celebrating the victory. Except Kamsa, everyone was rejoicing. All the Brahmanas, they were telling all glories, excellent, excellent, you have done such a wonderful act. Then Krishna, as he was celebrating Kamsa, he stopped all the musical performance because he had arranged all the musical performance which was going on. to have a festive atmosphere. Now Kamsa realized, now it is going beyond. He stopped all the musical performance and he became very, very angry. And he said, drive away this Krishna and Balram, arrest Nanda Maharaj, confiscate the property of all the cowherd men, and kill that most evil Vasudev, and kill that Ugrasena. And Krishna, he heard all this. He became intensely angry. Very quickly, he jumped on the royal dais. The dais of Kamsa was made on a very elevated platform. Krishna jumped on the elevated dais. And when Kamsa he saw this, immediately he got up because he was expecting this. He got up, he took up his sword and the shield ready to attack Krishna. And Kamsa he started moving very swiftly like a hawk in the air. And Krishna, just like a Garuda seizes a snake, Krishna seized Kamsa. Grabbing Kamsa by his hair, he threw Kamsa down. He first of all knocked off the crown of Kamsa and he threw Kamsa down right from the royal dais. He threw him on the wrestling mat. And Kamsa, as he fell on the wrestling mat, Krishna also jumped and threw himself on this Kamsa. Actually, just by the sheer force with which Krishna threw Kamsa, he already was practically unconscious. And then Krishna went on the chest of Kamsa, started pounding him with his fist. And with his fist, he struck him so very powerfully that Kamsa died. Then, this was not sufficient because everybody was shocked. How is this possible? Kamsa was such a great, powerful king. No, he is not dead. I think he's unconscious. How can such a powerful personality as Kamsa die so easily? Who was Kamsa? He had practically conquered the most powerful demons in the entire planet. Putana, Aghasur, Bakasur, Trinavart. We don't hear about the power of Kamsa. We don't hear the, victory excursion of Kamsa. But just the fact that all these powerful demons, they were serving under Kamsa. So it is described in other Puranas that how Kamsa, he had practically went and defeated all these demons and made them to surrender. That's how powerful he was. And every demon, we have heard that whenever Krishna kills a particular demon, all the devatas, they celebrate because they were not able to defeat that demon. And Kamsa was the king of all of them. So such a powerful personality, how can he die so easily? Nobody was ready to accept that. So just to, tell all the audience and to make sure that Kamsa is dead. Krishna, just like a lion drags a dead elephant, Krishna started dragging the body of Kamsa all over the wrestling arena. And it said that all the spectators, they exclaimed, oh, just see this Kamsa, such a powerful personality is dead in such a disrespectful way, It was not a very respectful way he departed. He died. Just pounding by a small child. Krishna was just 11 years old. And this Kamsa, he was so very powerful, so huge. It is described that when Krishna, he was dragging Kamsa, it created a huge canal. And Chakravarti Thakur writes in the purport that this canal is still existing, from Yamuna, it is there till Vishram Tirtha. That's how powerful Kamsa and strong body Kamsa had, and it was so very hard and so very gigantic. You know. And Chakravarti Thakur writes that it is still known as Kamsa's canal or Kamsa's river. This by dragging the body of Kamsa, Krishna, created a canal, huge canal. That was the great size of Kamsa. That was the hardness of the body of Kamsa. And Krishna very easily he killed Kamsa. So we have to understand that Krishna is so unlimitedly powerful. If he can destroy this Kamsa, sinful personality, why he'll not destroy our anarthas? Our anarthas may also look like mountains in front of us. But for Krishna it is nothing. Krishna can destroy all our anarthas in an instant if he desires. And when Krishna will desire? If we desire strongly. If we have the intense desire to overcome our anarthas, then Krishna will bestow that mercy. And how we will show our desire? By our sincerity, by our seriousness, by our consistency of devotional service. That's how we can show Krishna that I want to come out of this anartha. Then for Krishna it is not a big deal, So in this way, Krishna, he dragged Kamsa all over the wrestling arena, and then everybody understood, oh, Kamsa has dead. Shukadeva Goswami describes that Kamsa, he always thought of Krishna. Whatever he was doing, either he was drinking, eating, moving, sleeping, whatever he was doing, he was completely conscious of Krishna. Therefore, he attained Sarupya Mukti. He attained liberation, Sarupya, having the same bodily features as Krishna in Vaikuntha. That is a beautiful, merciful nature of Krishna. Even if he is killing a demon, but Krishna he is a Saragrahi. He takes the essence. At least he was thinking of me. So can you imagine if somebody is thinking of Krishna in an inimical way, he is getting such a wonderful destination. What will be the destination of those who will love Krishna, who will remember Krishna with faith, with devotion? That is the same thing which is described about Putana. Putana loka balagni rakshashe rudirasana jigham sayapi hariye stanam datva pasadgatim किम पुनः श्रद्धया भक्त्या कृष्णाये परमात्मने यच्छन् प्रियतमं किम नो रक्तस्तन्मातरो यथा. Are Putana came to kill Krishna, and he gave her the destination of a dhatri in the spiritual world. What will be the destination of the gopis who were feeding Krishna with love and devotion? So that's the wonderful nature of Krishna. So then when Kamsa was killed, the brothers of Kamsa, they came and they attacked Krishna. They were also so foolish that Kamsa is killed. But still, they were so very overwhelmed. They came and attacked Krishna, and before even they touched Krishna, Balram killed all of them. And when Balram killed all these sinful kings, all the devatas in the sky, they started rejoicing. Kettle drums were getting sounded. All the Gandharvas, they were singing the glories of Krishna. The devatas were showering flowers, and the wives of the devatas, they were dancing. It was a great celebration. But in midst of all these, the wives of Kamsa, they came and they started crying. They started lamenting for the death of their husband. And actually, the wife of Krishna, Krishna had two wives, Kamsa had two wives, and they were the daughters of Jarasandha. So they came and they were shedding tears very loudly, they were crying, and they were telling that, O our master, you are the knower of religion. He nath priya dharmagya karunanath vatsala tvaya hatena nihata vayam te se graha vayam te sa graha praja. So interestingly, all these wives, they are telling, Hey Nath, Dharmagya, you are knower of religion. Karuna Nath Vatsala, Are, you are so very compassionate. How we will live without you? Now you are slain. How we will live without you? So interestingly, it is the nature of love. Even a beloved has all the bad qualities, but still the lover cannot see any bad qualities. Mother cannot see any bad qualities in her son. Even if the son is blind, parents may name the son as Kamal Lochana. So therefore, Chakravarti Thakur writes that actually, all these words, they have a negative meaning. They are telling, the ladies are telling, the wives are telling that about Kamsa. You are so wretched. You don't know any religious principles. You are most sinful, and therefore you are killed by Krishna appropriately. They are telling, now you are gone, the city has lost its beauty, all good fortune has gone, and but then they realize that no, actually it is the best thing which Krishna has done. And this Kamsa has received the results of his sinful activities. Because they realized in association of Krishna they were purified little bit. They understood that, oh, our dear husband, you have come to this condition because of the sin, because of the violence you have committed against all the sinless creatures. That's why you are suffering. Because, Krishna, he is a supreme Lord. He appears in this world to establish the principles of dharma. He is a maintainer of everybody. And you went against him. You tried to kill him. So rightly you are punished by Krishna. So Krishna, when he saw that all the ladies, they were lamenting, he consoled all of them. He performed the final rites of all the dead relatives. And, then he proceeded. He proceeded to meet his mother and father. And Krishna, as he reached the place where Vasudeva and Devaki were there, he first of all bowed down in front of them, touched their feet. But interestingly, Devaki and Vasudeva, they had seen the power of Krishna and Balram. They understood Krishna and Balram, they are not ordinary. They are not our son, they are the supreme personality of Godhead. So therefore, they did not even embrace their sons. They were seeing Krishna and Balram after 11 years. But still they stood there, folding their hands, in awe and reverence. They did not embrace. So that's how, Krishna, when he shows his supremacy, his power, Brajvasis, they never get affected by that. That is a superior position of Brajvasis. Whatever Krishna may do, they will say, no, 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 no. He is not supreme. He is our Krishna. His friends will say, अरे इनको तो हम रोज ही हराते हैं. We will defeat him every day. तुम्ही कौन बड़ लोग, तुम्ही आमासम. And the gopis, they chastise Krishna. Although they know Krishna as a supreme Lord. We know, in the Gopi Geet, the gopis are telling that you are staying in everyone's heart as Paramatma. Akhil Dehina Mantaratmadrik. But still, their love is so great. It completely covers the knowledge of the supremacy of Krishna. But Vasudeva and Devaki, they get overwhelmed. They get covered by this, symptoms and the feelings of awe and reverence. and therefore they were not even bowing down in front of, they were not even embracing Krishna. They just stood there silently with their palms joined. Krishna did not like that, you know, and he wanted to invoke the feelings of Vatsalya in Vasudeva and Devaki. So that's what he did, you know. So this is the end of the chapter. We'll discuss in the next class what Krishna did. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki jai.